French Atlantic coast is a hilly peninsula extending out toward the Atlantic Ocean. In this region, 2 areas were selected for mapping seagrass and macroalgae with satellite remote sensing. Bourgneuf Bay, a macrotidal bay with a total surface of 340 kilometers squared, was selected due to its intertidal zone, an area exposed during low tide, mostly constituted of mudflats and rocky areas. This bay is widely used for shellfish aquaculture, and while clam fishing is very popular, shellfish aquaculture is focused mostly on oyster farming. The bay is also constituted by benthic microalgae, macroalgae and seagrass, ecosystems of great importance given the services they provide. Glennon Archipelago, characterized by numerous rocky islets and 9 small islands, is one of the 3 major seagrass meadow sites, with an area estimated in 14 hectares, an area located in the subtidal region, meaning it is constantly submerged. Both areas are predicted to be impacted by global changes, causing an effect on seagrass and macroalgal distribution, its health and resilience, ultimately affecting their ability to function within its ecosystem. CoastObs carried out field campaigns to gain an insight in spatial and temporal variation of intertidal macrophytes, seagrass beds and macroalgae, and submerged seagrass beds. With the help of satellite imagery and in-situ data, CoastObs aims to develop an optical, non-destructive method to estimate intertidal seagrass leaf biomass and epiphytes with a field spectroradiometer to help aquaculture management of wild oyster reefs, seagrass beds, and macroalgae. The Venice Lagoon has a total surface of 550 kilometers squared and is a very shallow coastal environment with a mean depth of 1 meter. Connected with the sea through 3 inlets, Lido, Malamocco, Chioggia. It is influenced by fresh water from the land and tides of the North Adriatic Sea, creating different environments that characterize the complex morphology of the lagoon. Shallows, mudflats, wetlands, sandbars, islands, and a dense network of channels are examples of this constantly evolving environment. Today, the problems that undermine the balance of the lagoon's ecosystem are quite different. Changes brought about by man and nature have triggered a process that is quite the opposite to silting up. The relative land level is now about 24 centimeters lower than the sea, and so settlements are now exposed to high tides, the phenomenon known as aqua alta, with increasing frequency and intensity. At the same time, other problems also compromise the ecosystem, such as erosion of the morphological structures of the lagoon and pollution, once an unknown enemy. CoastObs will gain insight in spatial and temporal variation of submerged macrophytes, seagrass beds, and macroalgae, and their correlation to eutrophication and anoxic crises in the Lagoon of Venice, and will further investigate the morphodynamics, coastal erosion, and accretion patterns in dynamic key areas based on suspended sediment transport dispersion pathways. With the help of satellite imagery and in-situ data, CoastObs will help provide better tools for better management decisions. The Rias Baixas are 4 large V-shaped coastal embayments located on the southwest coast of Galicia. Their length is about 60 kilometers, and their width varies from 1 kilometer in the inner part to 12 kilometers in the outer part. The Rias ecosystems are affected by strong tides, freshwater discharges from rivers, and the upwelling-downwelling dynamic on the adjacent continental shelf. Given the upwelling events occurring mainly between May and September, the RIAS increased significantly its productivity due to the introduction of deep, cold, nutrient-rich waters. In fact, the FAO considers the Galician estuaries as one of the most important phytoplankton deposits on the planet. Because of this, the area is rich in fish and shellfish resources and supports an intensive mussel culture. The farms use floating rafts called batias, organized in farming polygons where up to 500 ropes hang towards the bottom with the seeds encrusted in it. The production of mussels in Galicia is so important that it is, in fact, the top producer of mussel culture in Europe and of the top 3 producers worldwide. However, the RIAS ecosystems and the aquaculture activities are strongly affected by harmful algae blooms, a frequent and well-documented phenomenon in the area that occurs when colonies of algae grow out of control and produce toxic or harmful effects on people, fish, shellfish, marine mammals and birds. Traditional HABs detection and monitoring systems are founded on field samplings in fixed stations. CoastObs explores the potential of new methods based on satellite images, being a faster and cheaper approach that can cover a much larger area and from where map outputs can be produced, providing a more synoptic view of the study area. CoastObs maps products give an insight in the temporal and spatial distribution of HABs and can further help on the prediction of blooms. This advanced information helps complement the regional monitoring program, contributing to a more efficient management of the aquaculture resources, and it further aids local mussel producers in their decision-making and reduction of risks and economic losses. Wadenzi and Eames Estuary is a highly dynamic and productive estuarine area, characterized by extensive tidal mudflats, salt marshes, and deeper tidal creeks. It is also one of the largest coastal wetlands in the world and a biodiversity hotspot. However, pressures such as eutrophication, increased sedimentation due to dredging, sea level rise, invasive species are causing ecosystem changes. The Oosterschelde is part of the southwestern delta area and can be characterized as a tidal bay. Erosion in this system causes intertidal areas to slowly decrease. Underwater, both the Wadenzi and the Oosterschelde are home to a significant area of mussel bottom farming. CoastObs carried out field campaigns to gain an insight in spatial and temporal variation in food availability for mussels and monitor turbidity as a result of dredging fisheries. With the help of satellite imagery and in situ data, CoastObs can help monitor environmental status of the coastal waters and trends in water quality, historic analysis service to monitor the sources, magnitude and consequences of eutrophication. If you work in dredging companies, aquaculture businesses, national monitoring institutes, or are interested in water monitoring in general, CoastObs is the tool to help you monitor different parameters such as seagrass and macroalgae, phytoplankton size classes, primary production, harmful algae, as well as higher level products like indicators and integration with predictive models. Explore CoastObs platform at www.coastobs.eu.